Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Open Now here, looking at the European Union here at MarketStream.live. My name is Joseph Cusick from the Cusick Group, securities offered by MoneyBlock, welcoming everybody to take a look at the opening action, take a look at all the action that's happening right now early in the European session. Let's jump right in. Germany's DAX is giving up about 0.6% early in this session so far. You see Fresnus ST has stumbled 6.3%. There's concerns that the company will be negatively impacted by the change of Medicare coverage. Now, again, you know that we have the Obamacare repeal potentially coming up on the forefront. This, you can see, is not just a centric problem here in the United States. Healthcare is an issue across the globe. Financials are also under pressure in Germany. Commerzbank and Deutsche Bank are down nearly 2% right now, but we have exporters mixed. BMW and Daimler are holding decent losses right now of 0.7% and 0.2%, while Volkswagen is higher by 4.1% after reporting growth in the 2016 deliveries. So we're going to keep an eye on that. EWG right now is trading at 26.86. For those of you that watch know that this is the ETF that tracks German stocks. Over the next 4 days, the options are pricing in for the stock to be in a 41-cent range for this $26.86 stock. You're also seeing that the 11-day range is right around 51 cents, again, on this $26.86 stock. So you could see it basically at 28. Or you can see it down to about 27 and some change, or you could see it down as low as 26 and some change. The implied volatility right now in EWG is very low, and the IV rank is around 10%. And critical levels that you're going to want to watch on this ETF that tracks German stocks that has been on a trend to the upside is going to be 26.32. A break there is going to challenge the short-term trend. The next level is going to be 25.72 and then 25.69. Again, Germany has been performing very well so far this year and was performing very well into the tail end of last year. So we're going to keep an eye on this very closely. Taking a look at London in the UK FTSE, just sits right above flatline right now. We still have miners and consumer names showing relative strength. We saw that early last week in the session. Currently, you're seeing names like Anglo American, BHP Billiton, Rheingold Resources, as well as Fresnello, all up between 0.6% and 1.7%. While Burberry, Imperial Brands, and British American Tobacco, Unilever, and Intercontinental Hotels, as well as large cap name Diageo, all have added between 0.6% and 1.5%. EWU is the ETF that does track stocks in the FTSE, trading at 31.32. Right now, over the next 4 days, options are pricing in the potential for the stock to be in a 33-cent range, and for the next 11 days, 55 cents. The implied volatility rank is extremely low the last 52 weeks. Right now, it's ranking at 9%. Not a heightened expectation of big violent moves in this $31 ETF. Now, 30.86, 30.41, and 31.16 are going to be levels that you want to keep an eye on. Taking a look at French CAC, France is down by about 0.8% right now early in the session, with financials like BNP Paribas, AXA, Societe Generale, Credit Agricole all showing losses between 1.7% and 2.5%. You also have some outperformance, though, in some select consumer names, with Keurig, Danone, and Louis Vuitton all up between 0.3% and 1.3% early in the session. EWQ is the ETF that you can look at that monitors stocks and follows stocks in the CAC, trading at 24.96. Over the next 11 days, the options are pricing in the range of around 70 cents for this $24.96 stock. The implied volatility is right at that lower third, still at 33%. Still low, but moving to the upside. We're going to watch to see if vol starts to rear its head in the French markets. 24.48, 23.97, and 23.94 are going to be critical levels that are going to need to be held if the bulls are going to stay in control in EWQ and France. Finally, taking a look at Italy. Italy is under pressure this morning, down about 1.9% early in the session. Banks are under pressure. You're starting to see a lot of currency fluctuations. You're starting to see the bond markets, as well as the fact that you continue to see out of London. They're animate. Prime Minister May has said that they are going to be moving to their currency. They're going to be moving away from the euro and the single currency. They will trigger Article 50 in the spring. So there's a lot of action going on here, and the banks in Italy are under pressure. There is a recapitalization that's underway internally. We'll see if there's some pressure that's on there. UniCredit Banco, UBI Banca, just some of the notable names that are down between 2.6% and 4%. EWI is trading at 24.26. Watch this one closely. $24 needs to be held on this Italian ETF if the bulls are going to stay in control after what has seemed to be a pretty decent recovery over the last 3 or 4 weeks. 22.73 and 22.87 are going to be levels also that are going to be needed to help for midterm and short and long-term support in Italy and EWI ETF. All right, folks, one last thing that we want to take at yield check. We want to take a look at the 10 years in these various countries. France, the 10-year down by about 0.4%, or 4 basis points at roughly around almost 0.8%. Germany's 10-year Bund is trading down 3 basis points at 0.27%. You're seeing Italy's 10-year down 7 basis points at 1.89%, and the UK's 10-year is down 6 basis points at 1.41%. So you basically are seeing some price pressure to the upside right now in the bonds, maybe a little bit of a trade in front of the inauguration of Trump. There's also a lot of currency fluctuation. So we're going to keep an eye on this very closely, especially going into the U.S. Open. Speaking of that, at 9:30 Eastern Time, I'll be going over all of the action that's going on here on the U.S. Opening. So join me then at 9:30 Eastern Time on the Open in the USA. Till then, have a great trading day.